Hello guys, welcome to the balcony venting. We're doing a second session right now. We decided that we wanted to focus on one particular thing, and what was it?
Yeah, breaking it down and being more specific about what we were talking about.
Which is
we spoke about you were mentioning a thing like
the 1%.
Yes. So I was telling him I showed him a photograph right now of small gains. We're talking about small gains. We call it the power of tiny gains. So I was saying to him, 1% per day. Your target is 100%. The target is 100%. So if you do 1% of your 100%, you know what you want to attain by the end of the year, for instance. So the tiny gains. So that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. So the thing is, I saw the image and I think I've seen it somewhere before, and it's one of those things you go over and you read when you're studying, but then you're like, okay, you move on with life, kind of thing. But this is how I understand the tiny gains, the 1% of per day, etc., or per week, or however it is that you want to play it. From my perspective, the way I understand it is this way. Let's say, for example, that when I was growing up, right, I loved medicine and I wanted to go into medicine. Obviously, this is my passion, this is my vibe. I want to ultimately be a doctor and things like that. And it happens so that my marks don't make it to the point whereby I'm like, I can qualify to be accepted into a medical school, for example. So then what I decide at that point then would be, I need to go back to school. Even though I passed my matric, I don't qualify to get into university. Right. I can still attend school and do part-time jobs, God knows wherever, to push my marks to the point whereby I can be accepted into university in order to study medicine. So then by doing that already, the act of actually even registering to redo your matric, the act of attending your classes, doing the assignments and getting the marks that you know will get you into the university, on a day by day, as you do those things, as you achieve those things, those qualify as your 1% until you become a doctor. But at every point as you achieve the 1% as you go along, your marker obviously always moves. Like the goal that you're trying to attain will always move. Once you become a doctor, or let's say you do your 8 years of studies, you qualify, and then now you have to go do the experiential training. That's also another marker that you're looking at, where you consistently have to do the 1% in order to achieve the ultimate goal, where you're a fully qualified doctor, you can open your own practice, etc. Then after that, your marker moves again, because in all of that, in all the exposures and experiences, you realize that you want to become a heart surgeon, you want to become a neurosurgeon, you want to specialize in something specific, the endocrine system, whatever it is that you might be interested in at that particular time. Then you know for a fact that there are things that you need to do to accomplish in order to do that. But the thing is, I'm trying to understand though, like, how do I apply that without an ultimate goal? Because I feel like maybe you're describing it from that point. I think maybe that's why I got confused, because for me, I attribute it to saying I have this specific thing that I want to do and achieve, and in order for me to do those on a daily basis, I need to read this textbook. I need to make sure when I do this assignment, I achieve this particular thing, just following on that previous example.
I think you're making it a bit too complex for my liking, because I'm talking about tiny gains, guys. The power of starting. Remember when I said the power of starting? I gave it 1% because I'm saying once you would have equated a percentage to something that you want to attain, you break it down in small bits. So you know the end goal at the end of the year, you want to make 1 million, right? So now, in order for you to make 1 million, it means that, let's say you need to read 5 books. You need to read about marketing, you need to read about this or that. Now you're going to equate the 100%, now you're going to put it in smaller margins to say, in a month, this is what I want to attain. Now, in that month on its own, every day, you should be having tasks. Now, we spoke about Sundays. Sunday, you reflect on what you have put in. We're talking about those small gains. Even if you would have gained that 0.05%, you've done something out of your time. So we're talking about the tiny gains. We have 365 days. So the biggest percentage or growth that you can attain out of 100% is extra 265. So I'm saying if you do 1% every day, ultimately you will get to that. Those small, tiny gains will lead you to attaining your objectives. So that's why I was being harsh when I was saying that you need to have routine. Routine starts with discipline. That's number one. If I have a list tomorrow and I'm saying 5 o'clock I'm waking up, fine. I'm going to gym at 5 o'clock. I'm getting to gym at 5:15 from my house, and then at 6 o'clock I go home. I take a shower. I have breakfast. Can you see I have planned for that time? Now I come to the office. All of a sudden, everybody's here. How do I mitigate that? I come earlier than everybody. Now I am 2 hours ahead of everyone. So are you telling me now I can not calculate, or I cannot check where my time went?
I feel like, if somebody if somebody uses this general term, oh my God, I don't know where the day went, I don't know where the time went.
I don't like it.
I don't know. Maybe I think maybe there's
no way.
Wait.
No way.
I feel like there's a different way of understanding it. Is it a statement to stipulate a particular fact and deficiency, or is it a generic statement like?
No, it's a generic statement. It's a figure of speech that everybody has. It's a bad habit, and everybody now, it has permeated to a point where everybody believes it. What happened to time?
Then maybe if we're talking about belief, then that's a different thing. If a person says it, though, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong, and does not necessitate any negative concept to it.
See, this is what I do. Then perhaps, guys, maybe you can relate. What I then do, like I said, it's not every day that I stick to what I have planned. But it's something that I have already planned for, that there might be some distractions. Tiny gains. As long as I gain 1%, I cannot be hard on myself. I gave myself 1% target, and that's it. Whatever comes after that, great. But for the sake of my task, I know that in a month or a week or a day, this is what I want to attain. But I won't put too much pressure on myself, because I know what the end goal is. You saw me yesterday, on Saturday. I was going to have fun at night, but I was working in the morning, prioritizing and everything else. Come Sunday, I reflect back on what I did. So that's why I said this whole thing of procrastination then comes in. If you just don't write something down, guys, like put it in, just try it and see if you can stick to it. If you say that I'm waking up at 6, wake up, because you are obliged now to stick to that 6 o'clock, to that 5 o'clock, and then you have a tick box. That's how you then equate your 1%.
So then the point of this whole thing is that there's power in a deterministic power in actually having like a diary, or what do they call it? Like a notebook. Where you actually where you actually sit down and you actually write your thoughts, like a journal. Yes, a journal where you actually sit down and you note down what's been happening as a form of reflection, and also write down after reflecting to say you genuinely have a moment with yourself, and you actually sit and you ask yourself, what do I want? And you project yourself for the following week. It's like, by the end of this week, I want A, B, C, and Z. It won't necessarily have to be sequential, but you just list all the things that by the end of the week you would have wanted to do, right?
Again, this is sequential, yes.
Does it have to be sequential?
It has to be, because now, remember, in your plan, you have to plan for the unplanned.
No, but wait, that's not planning. When you're writing in a journal, the reason I'm saying it does not need to be sequential is because you can think of things randomly. Now, once you've got your list, then you can prioritize and plan your week. I know on Monday, I have to do this. And in that, then you prioritize those things to say, I know from my list, this thing that I've written 3rd or 4th can be the very first thing that I do on Monday. Then this one will be Tuesday, etc., etc. I think that's what I was saying.
Right. Because now if you have a journal on a day and you have routines, or you have stuff to do, now if you tick them off, remember now you are reflecting on the daily. Now it will give you a perspective as whether you are disciplined or not, or if you are attaining your goals or not. Today I have done my task.
Actually, I think maybe this is a question that maybe whoever gets to watch this, maybe have a comment at the bottom. And actually, I wanted to ask this. Wherever you are and whoever you are, do you think that everybody has like they can see 5 years from now. Like they ask this
Yeah.
question at interviews and things like that,
Yeah.
and obviously when you get asked this question, you just rattle off something, just to look as though, yeah, I'm this driven person. I'm sorry, I don't personally believe, I don't doubt for a second, however, like there's people that have those things like you. Like, I know you're like 5 years from now, I know this is
I
where
know.
I will be. Exactly. But I'm just saying, however, like, those that are listening, I mean, is what he's saying true? Like, does everybody
Yeah.
have this thing where
Yeah.
they know where they're going to be in 5 years? They
Yeah.
know where they're going to be in 10 years?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, I'm inclined to think that maybe try this method, because then
Yeah.
it would be a great tool to have in your box, so that whatever you're going through, you find a way to organize
Yeah.
yourself, you find a way to organize your thoughts, to put a list together to say,
Organize your
okay,
thoughts, I like that.
yeah, this has happened in my
Yeah.
life. I need to sort out whatever issues they're here. This is a list that I'm going to compile. And as you
Yeah.
go, you add things onto the
Yeah.
list, because there's always unexpected
Yes.
things that pop in, and you prioritize, and by the end of it, you've gone through the situation and you've accomplished your list.
Absolutely, and that's a training that nobody can give you. Tools. If you are able to reflect, it gives you also time to literally highlight the mistakes that you would have made, perhaps your time management skills. That's training that you'll never get from anybody else.
Okay, so the point that I was trying to get to is this. So for a person who doesn't know what they're going to be doing
Yeah.
5 years from now, if I start this journaling thing, right?
Right.
This is me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to start journaling my day to day.
Yeah.
I'm going to start writing all the things, manifest from my spirit and my mind and my heart and my soul to say, these are the things that I've denied myself.
Right.
So I'm going to start making a list to achieve this particular thing. Now, I don't know when the ultimate goal will be of that thing that I want. I can make it as simple as saying, next year, December, I will be in New York. I'm making an example. I will be in New York. Now, just as an example. So I know for a fact that between now and December next year, there needs to be a point where I need to book a ticket, I need a visa, I need a passport, I need to arrange where I'm gonna stay there, how long am I staying there for, what am I gonna be doing there, am I gonna be planning excursions? There's a whole list of things. How much clothes do I need? Is it what temperature is it there? Is it winter? Is it summer? What kind of clothing am I gonna need there? There's all kinds of things that you put a list together for, right? So then it means then on a daily, between now and a certain point in time, you're like, I need to put money away. And you're saying, okay, like if I start journaling with this goal in mind, that obviously I will achieve it.
Yeah, you see, you're absolutely right. When I say that, I know, of course, I don't have control over nature, but I have control over my actions. So say now you say you want to travel to, let's say, America in the next,
Just as an example,
12
I mean,
months.
it's not
12 months.
it's not my list of destinations, but
Yeah,
it would not suck. Just
Yeah, here you are. Obviously, you need to have a to-do list. Let me tell you, I'll show you now in my blue book. I believe in the power of, I said this, you asked me last time what's my purpose, and I said, literally, I believe everything that I have thought of is going to manifest, because I know I'm great. And somebody might say that, nah, it's just an average guy. But I personally, nobody can convince me otherwise. So now, when I say I'm seeing myself having achieved these things, I action it. On the lazy days, I make sure that on the second day, I make sure that I make up for the day that I lost. And also, guys, resting. If you rest, you're giving yourself again another opportunity to just energize yourself again and go back to your plans. So if you would have worked so hard that you are able to even rest in between, and still when you come back, it wouldn't feel like you've lost anything really. And I know me and Dumi struggle to sleep. I sleep literally 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah,
I struggle because I get bored when I'm sleeping. I don't it sounds so bad, but I honestly guess I get bored. Like I get so bored. Like
okay.
I get bored. So, but in a nutshell, guys, comment and tell us how you are doing your planning. How do you know that you are attaining your goals? How do you go about it? It might also teach us something. Dumi has his own way of doing things, but
I definitely do. I'm more, I think, I mean, in contrast to him, I'm more spiritual. I'm more, I don't want to, like I say spiritual because I don't want to bring religion into it. Religion is a very powerful tool that you can have in your arsenal because my mind and my spirit are the most important things to me. As long as those do not get tainted in a way that I'm uncomfortable with, then things in my life will never be okay. So and the thing is, it's maybe also something that I might need to train myself out of, because the moment you indulge your emotions too much, the moment you indulge certain things with your spirit too much, it creates lethargy, and then it creates a certain level of complacency in you. So there's a way that you need to allow yourself to process. Like for me, my life so far, even though there's things that are happening now, has been a very hectic one. So with everything that I've gone through, it's only now that I'm realizing, oh my God, my life is actually going to slow down a bit, and I will actually have a moment to reflect. And I think that's potentially for me why sleep is not a thing that I have.
And question is, what do you do with your non-sleeping? Is the same as a person
I clean, I cook.
Yeah, productive.
Netflix, I sometimes actually find myself I need to do something. So I'll cook something, I'll bake something, I'll clean the kitchen, I'll go into the cupboards and empty them out and clean out and be like, we haven't touched in here for a while, so let me just wipe that down. And that will literally utilize the 2-3 hours. Until then like literally 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, that's when my body says, now I can rest.
Is it something that you've planned for?
No.
Can you see now, guys? I think also we are in a self-discovery years. We are about to so literally the things that we are saying, we are also still growing, and we would also like to grow through you guys. We also like to grow through us as well. I always put him in a very uncomfortable position at all times, and I know it works. At times I push him too hard, and
I'm like, never.
At times, and it works, guys. So in essence, know how to calculate your time. Just have a journal. Can we do this exercise today, Bruce?
Which one?
Can we write can we write our plans for tomorrow and see if we can achieve them? Tiny gains. Remember, #tiny gains.
I think mine will be determined by the meeting that I'm going to have at 6.
Okay.
Because from that, because I'm on lesson 6 now. So by the time because I think 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'll have to do 5, and then there'll be an additional 5 until I get to 15.
Right.
So between now and tonight, I'll probably have a list where I'll be like, okay, these are the things that I need to accomplish by this time, when I will have to have scheduled another meeting with her.
Can we share our list tomorrow?
Then it's fine.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the only reason I'm agreeing is for this bloody experiment, because I don't generally do this, because the moment I do this, I become stressed out. My brain goes into like drive mode, and I start panicking. And the problem with that for me as an individual, knowing myself, is that I'll go into panic mode thinking that the world's gonna fall apart if I don't do that. What I normally do is that I put it in my mind, but there is actually the only thing that I'm like gonna take away from this for me that will work is journaling is actually a very beautiful way to express yourself and to put things that you want to achieve. I think for me that's very important. My entire life, you have to. I hate that word because there's a difference between something that you have to do and something that you want to do. We are at a stage in our lives where we identify that there are things that we have to do. Harana choice. You have to wake up in the morning, you have to go to work, you have to make this money with this job. We have to do those things. Do I want to do it? No. But the things that you have to, I have to pay the water and lights, I have to pay the rent, I have to pay my bond, I have to do groceries. Not because you want to, but because you have to. There are things that need to be done. I identify that, but the moment you take that word and you apply it to my own personal desires, then I have a problem. But we'll go into this another time, because like I feel like spirituality is a very important thing here, because it's one thing. I know. It's one thing to say these are the things that you can apply, but there needs to be a cognizance and an acknowledgement of the fact that each individual and person, even though these are amazing tools, is going to view them completely differently,
Yeah.
and utilize them completely different within their own context
Yeah.
and perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
We've
that's
exceeded our
that's
20
right,
minutes.
yeah.
I hope you guys get it.
Yeah.
We were
But
vintage.
he's gonna pay for the last 21 seconds.
All
I'm
right.
not paying. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Teachers, let's teach each other. We
Yeah.
are all
Just
discovering
comment.
ourselves.
Just comment. Cheers.